welcome back to iAesthetics. We are doing another tutorial today and I am so excited about it. Grab your iPad, Apple Pencil, and we're gonna dive right in to drawing an eyeball. I'm gonna review a little bit about the anatomy of the eye because understanding the anatomy just helps to draw eyes. Today is just going to be like a frontal view, maybe looking up a little bit, and later on, maybe for a different tutorial, we can do like different angles. But today we're gonna keep it nice and simple. So anyone who's struggling to draw eyes, this is a great video for you guys to watch. Let's get started. So let's go over the anatomy real quick. Draw a circle. We're gonna draw a cross through it. And the middle part of that is pretty much going to be where the pupil is. We're looking at a frontal view right now. And then around that, draw one more circle, and that's the iris, the colored part. So middle part, pupil. Outside ring, iris. And the outside of that is going to be the white area that you usually see, the sclera. Now, using this as a guide, you know that you can always see your pupil, so we're going to draw the top lid and the bottom. And now you know that the top and the bottom part that you're seeing in the circle, that's where you can use your guidelines to shade and where your light and dark areas will hit. But let's get into it now. And if you guys have been watching my videos, you know how I like to add some texture on my canvas. So that's what I'm going to start with. This is completely optional. That's much better. And today we're going to use a basic 6B pencil. But before that, let's go into painting and grab your flat brush. And we're just going to add a little bit of shade into the background. It'll just help bring the eye out when we do start using the pencil. So nothing crazy, just like a little blotch of shade. Literally, that's what it is. And I'm gonna go into the smudge tool. Make sure that the smudge tool is the same as the brush that I'm using, which is a flat brush. And just gonna smudge it out a little bit and then go over it with the brush just a little bit more. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is just to add a little bit of texture to the eye. And you'll see how it comes out at the end. All right, let's go into our 6B pencil. Don't forget to open up a new layer. And let's start drawing the top lid and the bottom. We're gonna make a nice basic almond shape right now. All right, go ahead and start drawing in the pupil line. Don't worry about the details right now. We're just gonna get a basic outline. So top of the lid, where the eyebrow is gonna be, a little bit of the bottom part, because remember, the eyeball is circular and there's skin over it. So we wanna get all of the outline before we start filling in the details. All right, we've got our two circles now. Let's fill in the pupil. So I'm just gonna shade it in black. I'm just gonna go over it one more time and give it a little bit of an outline, and we'll keep coming back to get the details. Because the iris is lighter than the pupil, because that's the colored part, you don't wanna go as dark. So I'm just gonna make some rough lines, keep it light, because I do want to add a little bit of color later on. All right, let's start shading around the eye a little bit. So I'm gonna have my light source coming from the right side of the canvas. So the left side is going to have more cross hatching, more shading. And remember that there will be a dip in the eye, so just getting the right areas for your crosshatch will be important. You also want to have a little bit of a reflection on the top of the sclera because remember, it's not completely white. It's round. There is going to be shading on it. It is going to have some light and dark areas. Always draw your lines towards the shape. So the right of the eye, the left of the eye, these are curving up. These areas curve up. So you want to have your lines going up and curving a little bit. And this is just to get the shape to pop out. And if you guys want me to do a tutorial on cross hatching, drop a comment down below and I would love to do one for you guys. All right, let's start filling in the eyebrows a little bit. Remember, you don't want to focus on just one area in the drawing. It helps to do a little bit of the whole thing. Also keep in mind, the eyebrow hair gets longer towards the end. The middle part is usually a little bit spiky, shorter, and sticking up. So remembering the natural form of the eyebrows and going with that flow. All right, and let's darken the top of the lid, start adding in some details, putting in some eyelashes, which is my absolute favorite. Remember, this is a frontal view, so the middle part of the eyelashes will look shorter and the right side will look longer. Bottom lashes will not be as much or as long as the top, but this is really dependent on your style and how you want the eye to look. You can definitely customize it and make it your own. All right, go ahead and open up a new layer. Make sure it's on the bottom of the pencil. Get the flat brush back and let's do a little bit of shading in those dark areas, just where you did the cross hatching. Nothing crazy, nothing too dark, but just to get a little bit of texture in there. When you don't have a live reference or like a light reference, this is when it's important to visualize. So picturing where the light is coming from, which is on the right side, making the dark areas darker, keeping the light areas light, filling in your pupil a little bit more. This is the time to do it. When it comes to the white area, remember, don't go for a pure white. You want a little bit of gray in there. And then the pure white will only be for the very small highlights on the pupil, on the iris, and even a little bit of that reflection on the sclera. If you want to get extra fancy, go ahead and throw a little reflection on the top and on the bottom as well. I like doing that. I feel like it just makes it pop, but it's totally optional. Depends on your style once again. All right, let's go back and give our eyelashes a little bit more definition, a little bit more love. Let's go in, do a little bit more cross hatching, a little bit more dark for those really dark areas, really to show that the eye is curving, it pops out, and it's not just something flat. All right, guys, last bit of detail. Let's add in a little bit of color. Go back to your flat brush. I'm just gonna use the background color that I have, but make it a little bit darker. And I'm gonna go onto a bottom layer now and open up a new one and just add in some small highlights. Throwing in a little bit of color in the iris, adding in those final touches now, maybe a little bit more of that gray white, and just making some finishing details. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys were able to learn something new. I hope it was a little bit easier to understand how to draw an eye. I'd love to hear some feedback. If you guys want me to work on something more specific, definitely drop a comment down below. If you like what you see, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Sending lots of love, lots of good vibes. Peace.